Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is Yarn Talk episode 80. If you are new to Yarn Talk is a knitting, crochet, and various other yarny bits podcast guaranteed to give you your recommended dose of fiber arts in 60 minutes or less. If you are worried that your fiber intake may be lower than the recommended dosage, feel free to subscribe to the channel so that more awesome projects like these can keep your hands and your heart full. So it has been a while since I did a yarn talk. I have been horribly sick and life is insane, and after me saying that we weren't going to get much snow here for the season, we ended up having so much snow that school was canceled for almost an entire week. So as I'm sure you can imagine, everything kind of just went in the realm of Randy's plans. I have been making lots of stuff. I have been working on perfecting a pattern that I hope to release sometime early in March. I'm not quite sure when yet. I also just had another pattern release recently, just a few days ago, and have a lot of other stuff in the works. So I'm going to try to get through this fairly quickly because I don't want to have to edit out a ton of me coughing and clearing my throat. And on top of that, Killian's having a really bad day right now. Today is Sunday the 17th, and tomorrow the 18th is my birthday. I will be 33 years old tomorrow. Yeah, trying not to think about that one too much. Anyway, so almost everything that I have is stuff that is finished, primarily because the things that are big things that I should be working on a little bit more at a time, I've been like, or I could make this new thing instead that would only take me a few minutes to make. Yeah, so that. So stuff. After making my campfire cardigan that I made just a few weeks ago now, I decided to use all of the little itty bitty brown bits that I had and make a hat. And this is just a scrap hat. It is a slouchy hat. The top part is Big Twist Premium. This is Hirschner's. This is Muirwood's Chipmunk. This is Red Heart Super Saver Platoon. There's a row of another Hirschner's. That is Loops and Threads, Impeccable, something Earth Tones maybe. I don't even remember. It's been so long, but I don't know if you'll be able to see. But there's actually different textures here throughout. I just randomly did some back loops and going through the third loop. And then the bottom portion, I used Red Heart Super Saver Shades of Brown and did basket weave stitch with it because that's my favorite thing lately aside from triangle stitch. So as you can see, it's kind of slouchy, but very comfortable, very warm, very thick. I wore this out in the snow a couple of times. It was really good. So one thing. These two are from my pattern that I just released last week, the Toxic Love hat. And it's good if you're a beginner to popcorn stitch and you've never done it before. It's also good if you're somebody who's never used charts before, because I do have a chart included and tell you how to go through and use it properly so that you can actually replicate these motifs anywhere else that you really want to. Here you can see the heart motif. And here you can see the crossbone motif. And it just goes around the hat. And the bottom has a ribbed brim. You can make it slouchier. You could do the popcorns in different colors if you wanted to. I actually went through and made a slouchier version and used two different yarns for it. This is actually the one that's pictured in the pattern. Everything here and below the popcorn portion is Red Heart Super Saver Stripes Calm Stripe, and the part for the actual popcorn stitches themselves is the Red Heart Super Saver Fair Isle, Calm Fair Isle. But as you can see, it's still got the designs in it. Surprisingly easy to do once you get used to doing the popcorn stitches. It doesn't take a lot of time. These other three things are in relation to the pattern that I'm working on that should be coming out sometime in March. Like I said, I'm not quite sure when yet, but it is the Bermuda Triangle collection, I'm calling it, because it's going to have a variety of things. 2 things that I actually just added in while I was making stuff the other day just for the heck of it. So it's going to be a lot of patterns. There's going to be a basic worsted weight pattern. There will be a bulky weight pattern, and there's going to be instructions for a cowl with the same type of stitches and fingerless gloves. So lots and lots of stuff, because why not? So this one, if you're on my Instagram, you will have seen this already. I showed this on my feed the other day. Is that the seam in the back? Yes, it is. Okay. So maybe back against my face, it won't totally blow out the camera. This is a messy bun version of the Bermuda Triangle hat. This is done in worsted weight. This is Red Heart Super Saver Day Glow. And as you can see, it's got lots of really neat triangle stitch here, and the bottom is actually worked first and you work your way up. It's pretty much the same as the regular hat pattern. You just stop a few rows short and do a few decreases and finish it off instead of closing it completely shut. That's really all there is to it. This is the child-sized version. I checked, and this does fit Hunter, and he's about the same size as an average kid. So this is the child-sized version, and I actually made this with 3 different scraps of yarn that I still had a little bit left over, but I added them to my giant scrap bin of stuff. Added a pom-pom to the top. I don't know. I'm not really sure about the color choice. I think it looks kind of cool. I'll really like it, and then I'll look at it again. I'll really like it, then I'll look at it again and go, look, what were you thinking? So yeah, that's the child-sized one. I also made a baby-sized one. Instead of making this in newborn or 0 to 3 month size, I actually made it in 3 to 6 month size because my kids were both so big when they were born that that's the size of pretty much everything that they had to wear when they were born. So all the newborn stuff that we had bought was pretty much useless because I had 2 9.5 pound, 22 inch tall children. Yeah. But this is made with the leftover of the blue Calm Fair Isle from Red Heart Super Saver. I really like the way the pom-pom turned out. Kind of wish I would have made a bigger one. This is the medium-sized one. But I do like the way it turned out. Really, really, really like the way the colors turned out in this one. Like I said, this is the 3 to 6 month size. I'm not going to have every single size under the sun in the pattern because honestly, after giving multiple examples, telling you how many multiples of stitches plus what you need in order to be able to make it whatever size you want, I feel like most people will be able to figure it out, especially with the 3 examples being a baby, a child, and an average adult size. You'll even be able to expand it to make it slouchy if you want. It's just a matter of adding more of the triangle rows before you start decreasing. So I will say that it's beginner friendly, even though it has some intermediate stitches, and you all know I love triangle stitch. It was in my Hangetsu shawl, and it's, I don't know, I just really, really like it better than any other cluster stitch I've encountered so far. This is the last of the hats that I'm going to be putting in my package to send off to Billy, the Crafty Floridian, for her Hats for Kids charity collection that she's doing to get hats from fans and makers on YouTube for some local people who are in need of hats for small children. I think the sizes they asked for was somewhere between kindergartner and first grade sizes. So this is what I got from just a leftover ball of Bright Stripe, Red Heart Super Saver Bright Stripe, I believe. But I just did a little bit of textural playing here and here, and I know that it's really getting, colors super getting blown out. So I will have 4 hats altogether that I'll be sending off to her. I was hoping to make 5. I might make another one today just because, and then put it all in the mail tomorrow instead of packaging it up now, because why not? But I don't know if I'll be in the mood to make another hat today or not. We shall see. there's that. And the other thing that I have done is the third of the thick, and it's either thick and bumpy or thick and scrubby washcloth. This is made with 2 strands of worsted weight cotton held together, and you could do all sorts of really cool stuff as far as color changes go depending upon the cotton that you're using. And it makes this raised 3-dimensional bumpy effect on it here that you can really see up close. I actually made this one whole bobble, I guess, stitch, you could call it. One whole row of bumps and an extra row around the outside, bigger than the pattern actually called for, because I felt like it was way too small. It was regular sponge size, and for it to be washcloth size, I wanted it to kind of fit in my hand. So that's the last thing that I have done for now. I have worked on my jumbo yarn blanket with the giant crocheted rope, essentially, that I made from 6 strands of worsted weight yarn held together and a speed hook. But I've only done a couple rows, so it's not really anything noticeable yet. So I'll probably show that again once I have the strip done and attached to the blanket, which is sitting there on my bed. You will notice that the lump of giant jumbo blanket on my bed looks especially strange. That's because there is a giant black cat curled up and cocooned under said fleece blanket. Apparently that is his favorite thing in the universe, and it's kind of chilly today, so I'm just rolling with it, letting it happen. So the 2 things that I have been working on, I will show you the one first that actually has a little bit of progress to show. The other one, not so much, because I just picked it up again last night after not touching it for well over a year. Bad me. So this is the Hangetsu shawl that I've been working on. Let me find which side has it. There we go. And this is made with the Sunny Day Cupcake from Lion Brand. This is where I'm at right now. When I showed it to you guys last time, it was where the little pizza charm is that you can see. So I got a couple rows done. I honestly don't know how much bigger I'm going to make it. I mean, right now it's almost getting to be scarfish size. I don't really want to make it super big, so maybe I'll have to work out something to make it so that it doesn't go down much farther, but it just gets wider. But the Hangetsu shawl is my own design. There's a free video tutorial and a paid written pattern if you're interested in that at all. But I just finally got into the white portion, which is exciting because that was the next color change I was looking forward to. And what I really like about the cupcake as opposed to the regular mandala is that it's got these pops of color throughout it that are definitely different from just the solid blocks of colored stripes that are in a lot of the other cake yarns right now. I like the speckles. I am a big fan of the speckles. So there's that. I have been working on that. I've been trying to do at least 1 row a day. Sometimes I can get up to 3 or 4 rows in. But I'm just going to keep going until it's a size I feel will work. The other thing that I've got is something that I haven't shown in a really long time because I just haven't touched it. Because quite frankly, it got buried, and every time I thought about it, I was like, I don't really want to. So what it is I'm working on a solid granny square blanket for my younger son, Killian. And I have a handwritten little chart here that I worked out with how many squares by how many squares, the colors, and how many of each I'll need. I've gotten all of the cream ones done, and I haven't really worked on the black ones much because every time I think about it, it's usually at night, so I'm just working on the orange squares for now. But right now, unattached squares. I made 1 this morning and already had 3 of them that weren't attached to anything, so I've got 2 black and 2 orange squares right now that aren't attached. Making it all with Karen 1 pound because I attempted to do the orange in Red Heart Super Saver, and the weight was enough different from the Karen that it just wasn't going to work. So I will not be able to show you all of it spread out, even though I did put it out on my bed last night just to see how big it was, because I've only ever laid it out on the floor before to see the size. And once it's done, it's going to be almost the width of my queen size bed. I didn't realize it would be that big. So maybe it'll be like a super ultra early graduation present for Killian, because it's going to be huge. But this is a portion that I've been working on joining together just to give you an idea. But the way that I have it set up, it's going to be striped like a tiger. In that, this white portion in the middle will be like the belly or underside of the tiger, and then there's orange and black stripes that alternate all throughout it. So it's pretty cool. I'm excited. And I made that square this morning in less than 10 minutes. So if I can actually motivate myself and even just make a couple of squares a day, even if I only make 2, I could have all of the squares done and have this blanket all put together by summertime. So yeah, there's that. And that is really the only, that's the only other thing that I've really worked on this week. I just recently unearthed this skein of super pretty and ultra saturated Malabrigo yarn, which was a gift from Claudia of Crochet Luna, I think for my birthday last year, which is pretty fitting considering my birthday is tomorrow, and I'm going to make myself a hat with it. I'm going to use the pattern by Pico Pals, P-I-C-O-T, like the little edging stitch Pico, and it is called the Wave Beanie. I've seen somebody in my Instagram feed make a ton of them. I'm pretty sure it's Donna Jean, and I'm also pretty sure she's in the Facebook group. By the way, if you're not in the Facebook group and you would like to be, it is Random Randy's Random Family, and we swap pattern links and stuff there, show off what we're making, talk about stuff we're cooking, just life stuff in general. It's pretty chill and laid back because that's pretty much just me. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this works up. I have to double check and make sure that the yardage is enough. I think it should be, because most hat patterns don't call for more than 200 yards, and this is 210. Yeah, so this should be fine. We'll see. Aside from that, I wanted to say a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at patreon.com. They donate a little bit of money every month so that I can continue to bring you guys awesome quality videos. And essentially right now, Patreon pledges are paying for about 60% of what it costs me to have all of my editing programs every month, because I have the Adobe Creative Cloud thing, and for all of the programs altogether, it's somewhere in the realm of $55 after tax per month. So every couple of bucks helps. My patrons are Tamara from TamsCraftyKnits, Sonya T, Wanda from Rolling Through Life, Brittany Morris from her channel of the same name, Dana from Tabitha's Treasures, and Sonia from Sonia Jones' Crafty Life. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. I put up a new pattern every month there. Sometimes it's just before it's released to the general public, but all of my paid patterns, unless I somehow manage to get 2 of them together and release them in the same month, if you are at the $5 tier or higher, you will have access to all of my written patterns with just your $5 a month pledge, instead of paying $5 for each pattern individually as it releases. And if you sign on at the $2 level, you will get my Hangetsu shawl pattern for free instead of having to pay $5 for the written version of it. If you want to help me out in another way, feel free to purchase any of my pre-made, handmade products from my Etsy shop, which is Ansier Handmade. And with today being the 17th, tomorrow is the last day of my 25% off all of my physical product sale. Essentially, I'm just trying to offload some more stuff and clear some space, but I still have some holiday/wintry project bags there. So if you're in the market for a decent sized project bag at a decent price, They're usually 20 bucks and they're only $15 now through the end of the day tomorrow. So I wanted to say thank you so much, everybody, for watching. And if you can't tell, I'm starting to have trouble breathing. Yay, being sick is fabulous. So I hope that everybody's doing all right. I hope that you're all staying well. And if you're sick like I am, I hope that you're getting a chance to get some rest so you can get better.